As expected, the House passed the SAVE Act 218 to 213, claiming that it saves elections from non-citizens voting. Here's the thing, non-citizen voting is already illegal and, according to strong bipartisan evidence spanning multiple years, extremely rare, not a systemic problem. So why the SAVE Act?
Good that women can vote in America? I don't think so, and here's why. Nearly every legalized moral atrocity of the last 100 years was made possible by the female vote. Abortion and homosexuality would likely still be illegal if not for the female vote. Mass immigration to the welfare state rode on the backs of the female vote. Nearly every modern Democrat, including Obama and Biden, were elected because of the female vote. Even last night, the new Muslim New York City mayor, Mondani, won specifically because of the female vote. The 19th Amendment has been a moral and political tragedy for America, but why? Women were not made to lead, but to follow and to feel. This is God's design, and it's good within the family and the household. But emotions cannot be what is used to rule and govern a nation. Statistically and generally speaking, women vote for whatever feels most kind or peaceful or safe to their emotions. Women crave security and comfort.
Fact. We will not have one Democrat president in the last 50 years if women couldn't vote.
Will women have the right to vote tomorrow if you wave that magic Christian wand?
No.
Okay, why not? And I want to get into why not. Yeah, that's great.
Because if we had a Christian nation tomorrow and women did have the right to vote, we would not have a Christian nation within 50 years.
Okay, elaborate a little bit on that.
Because the husband has been appointed by God as the head of his home, and no-fault divorce and women's suffrage, more than anything else, ultimately split the household.
No more women in positions of combat. Also no more women in Congress. Right? No more female state reps. No more women in any function of societal leadership. Period.
Forcing proof of citizenship documents that many Americans don't have on hand creates chaos, delays, and barriers to voting, especially for women, trans people, and marginalized communities that they don't want voting. It adds yet another hurdle to voter registration, documentary proof of citizenship, and federal database checks. Yet, the tools that DHS is using to flag non-citizens has already misidentified U.S. citizens. One has to ask, is that a bug or a feature? Why do you think Dumpy and Pam Bondi want the voter roll so badly? Imagine a world where Democratic women in swing states show up to vote only to learn that their voter registration was removed and their documents don't match. No match, no ballot. Don't believe it can happen? It feels less hypothetical when you remember what happened last November.
Someone explained to me why, when I checked the Texas online voter registration to ensure that I am in fact a registered voter, it says that my status is canceled. So I had to call the county voter registration office and they said, no, you're active. They checked the state. I'm an active voter. I am a Democrat though.
It's almost like it was a test run. Now, you know, Republicans will say, just bring a passport. But they know that's not a serious option. Only 48% of Americans currently own a passport. This is going to affect tens of millions of married women, trans people, adoptees, naturalized citizens, Americans born abroad, tribal citizens, rural and low-income voters, seniors, and disaster survivors, many of whom they know will face barriers proving citizenship. But let's just say that every affected person went to get a passport. They already took that option off the table too. It's almost like they planned for this. See, last year, Dumpy and Little Marco fired over 1,300 State Department employees, including passport planning and program support staff within the Bureau of Consular Affairs. You know, the office that oversees passport operations. Look, I keep saying it. Dumpy's a piece of shit, but he does not have the competence to strategically plan this. He's just the distraction. The first thing we need to do is turn off the corporate media, funded by the fascists who are working to oppress us. We have to stay one step ahead. The only way to do that is to unplug from the programming. Next, call your senators. This has already passed through the House. Next, it's going to the Senate. Tell them that election security must protect access, not restrict it. I'll put a script in the comments. It is going to take every last one of us to beat these fascists. But you have to remember that there's so many more of us than them. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Let's go.